Hello everybody. So today our session is going to be on adverse effect of CPB on hematological system or hematological adverse effect of cardiopulmonary bypass. This class is for second and third year both for BSc and final year for diploma perfusion students. So we already all know that though CPB is a life-saving procedure, cardiopulmonary bypass is a life-saving procedure. It permits open heart surgery, correction of complex heart disease through open heart surgery, but it has its own adverse effect also, and adverse effect and effects are uh, not only bound to any single system. All the adverse effects are uh, all the effects are on several system, in fact each and every system of our body. So one of the system is hematological system, and today we are going to discuss about the hematological adverse effects of CPB. This video will be again on two parts. In first part, in this part I am going to discuss about the adverse effect on the cellular components of blood. In the next part I will discuss about the effect on non-cellular components of blood. So at very first we will see the etiology, that is the reasons, that is the factors that is affecting the hematological system. So very first is the artificial surface. As you all know, cardiopulmonary bypass comprises of uh, a very immense length of artificial surface composing of filters, connectors, tubings, and our oxygenator and our reservoir also. Next is the hemodilution. We do hemodilution routinely in our CPB. So that is advantageous for us, as well as also it has some adverse effects: hypothermia, anticoagulation, direct air blood contact, that occurs mainly in the suction pumps and inside the reservoir. Next is the reinfusion of shed bloods and transfusion of blood products. Shed bloods means the uh, the blood which is shed in the operating field, which is sucked through the internal suckers, and the and at the last of the procedure, the residual volume which remains in our circuit. And next is transfusion of blood products. So many times we need to transfuse blood products like PRBC, platelets, etc. after after open heart surgery. Those has also some adverse effects. And hyperoxia, which is usually done in CPB, and hemodynamic alterations are the factors that contributes to the adverse effect of CPB. Next we will see the adverse effect. The first cellular component on which we are going to see the adverse effect of CPB is the RBC, that is the red blood corpuscle or red blood cell of our blood. So the first factor is hypothermia. So what hypothermia does? Hypothermia makes the RBC more stiffer. That is, RBC loses its deformability. And then what happens? Due to decreased deformability of RBC, obstruction in microcirculation occurs, because in many parts of microcirculation the diameter of microcirculation is much lower than RBC, but due to the flexibility of RBC, blood flow can easily go through the microcirculation. But due to the stiffness of RBC, due to the decreased deformability of RBC, this microcirculation hampers, and also due to the stiffness, hemolysis increases, because if you hit a flexible thing it will not break easily, but if you hit a solid thing which is not much flexible, it will break much more easily. So the stiffer RBC when goes through the occlusive roller pump head, the hemolysis, the amount of hemolysis that is much higher. Next is the non-physiological surface which causes excessive shear stress on RBC. Shear stress is, in physics, shear stress is think this is an object, and force is applied not on the whole object but only at one part of object. So the object becomes like that. This force is called shear force, and shear force by the area is shear stress. So increased shear stress due to non-physiological surface also cause hemolysis, because in normal condition inside the blood vessels we all know there is smooth endothelium, but the artificial surfaces, the whatever there is coating, there may be heparin coating present either, or myelin coating present, or silicone coating present. What if any coating is present, also even that case the inner surface of the artificial tubings is not as smooth as our endothelium, and so that causes increased shear stress on red blood cells, which causes hemolysis. Now with increased flow rate, you have to increase flow rate in during cardiopulmonary bypass. So increased flow rate also causes increased shear stress, that also causes hemolysis. And again, I have been discussed in etiology, the gas blood interface or direct air blood contact, that also causes hemolysis. Now all these factors contributing to hemolysis, there will be much more hemolysis, and that will result in increase in amount of circulating free hemoglobin. Now in normal scenario, what happens when a RBC dies in our body, the amount of hemolysis occurs naturally in our body, but the amount of RBC dies at a time is much lower than in CBB, and that free hemoglobins in normal condition is carried by haptoglobin and removed from our body by liver. But when the amount of circulating free hemoglobin rises, it is increased much more than the amount of haptoglobin present, then what happens? Now, these circulating free hemoglobins are filtered through kidney, causing hematuria and eventually failure of kidney. Next is the effect on white blood cells. Before starting adverse effect on white blood cells or WBCL leukocytes, I would like to make you remember one thing. In adverse effect of RBC, I told that in normal condition also RBC dies in our body. So I know you already have gone through this, but what is the lifespan of RBC in our body? That is around 120 days. 110 to 120 days is the normal lifespan of RBC in our body. After that, all RBCs dies and the hemoglobin frees up, and that is carried by haptoglobin. Now let's come to the topic, adverse effect on leukocytes. So again, one thing to make you remember, leukocytes are of two types, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes are those who have granules in their cytoplasm, that is basophil, neutrophil and eosinophil. And granulocytes, they lack granules in their cytoplasm. They are lymphocyte and monocyte. So what are the adverse effects? So primarily neutrophils are mainly affected by our cardiopulmonary bypass, mainly polymorphonuclear neutrophils, that is PMNs, and to a lesser degree monocytes are also affected. So what is the pathway or how they are affected? First is activation of adhesion receptors of leukocytes. The name of the adhesion receptors are CD11B and CD18. So activation of these receptors causes their endothelial attachment. They are easily bind or attached to endothelial cells and gradually migrates into the extravascular tissue. And this endothelial binding mainly occur in the pulmonary circulation, which we say pulmonary sequestration of neutrophils. They are mainly sequestrated into pulmonary circulation, and other microcirculations also, microcirculation of heart and skeletal muscles. And after sequestration, after attachment, leukocytes are activated and release their granules, and their granules produces oxygen radicals, oxygen free radicals, elastase and cathepsin G, and these substances causes vasoconstriction and cell damage. And that is vasoconstriction and the sequestration causes obstruction of microcirculation, and cell damage causes more permeability of increased permeability of microcirculation. And the elastase and cathepsin G, they also degrades the fibrin, and with these two substances, cell mediated fibrinolysis also occurs due to addition of neutrophils to the fibrin, again facilitated by CD11B and CD18 receptors. That is what is written. Cell mediated fibrinolysis is also facilitated by CD11B and CD18 dependent adhesion to fibrin, which causes postoperative bleeding, increased chance of postoperative bleeding. Next and the last cellular component is the platelets. The last part, effect on platelet. The first is the number of circulating platelet decreases within some few initial hours of CPB, but in studies it is seen that the number of platelet which should be reduced only due to the hemodilution. That means the hemodilution, the amount of platelet that should be decreased only due to hemodilution, and the actual decrease in number of platelet, circulating platelet, there is a very much difference between them. The actual number is very much higher than that can be expected due to hemodilution. Now what is the causes of this increased gap between the decrease of number due to hemodilution and the actual decrease in number? The reason is activation and adhesion to subendothelial cells, CPB circuit, and circulating monocyte and neutrophil. So মানে কি দেখা গেছে না সিপিবি ইনিশিয়াল ফিউ আওয়ার্সে শুধুমাত্র হিমোডাইলিউশনের জন্য যে পরিমাণ প্লেটলেটের নাম্বার যে পরিমাণ কমার কথা তার থেকে অনেক বেশি অ্যামাউন্টে কমে যায়। তার কারণ কি না, হিমোডাইলিউশনের জন্য কমার ছাড়াও in many numbers platelets are activated due to the artificial surface and they are adhered to the subendothelial cells, CPB circuit and circulating monocytes and neutrophils. Next is their reduced functionality. Now the main function of platelet is, we all know, that is in hemostasis, that is to stop bleeding. Then obviously if the function of platelet declines, there will be increased chance of post-op bleeding. Now what are the causes of declining functions? First, platelets becomes refractory to the repeated stimulation by same agonist. Now what are the agonists? Agonists are thromboxane A2, serotonin and ADP. Among them, ADP and serotonin are released from granules of platelet, whereas thromboxane A2 is released from the cytoplasm of platelet. Now what happens? Blood is continuously flowing through artificial surface, and whenever platelet senses that there is any other surface except endothelium of blood vessels, they are activated, and activated platelet in normal scenario, when when any injury to a vessel occurs, the subendothelial cells are exposed, and in contact, when platelets come in contact with subendothelial cells, they are activated, and activated platelets then release some substances. They are called agonists. What their role is? Their role is to recruit more and more platelet to that part where the injury has occurred, to make the platelet plug to stop the bleeding. Now, in case of CPB, when platelets are activated, the agonists are released, and they are continuously activating platelets. But as we have given heparin and ACT is very much higher, blood cannot clot inside the circuit. So due to again and again more and more stimulation by same agonist, platelets with time becomes refractory to those stimulations, and CPB induced activation procedure causes a pool of granule depleted platelets, because when the platelets are activated, they release their granules, which releases ADP and serotonin as agonists. So when platelets are activated, their granules are depleted at the time of CPB. So after CPB, when hemostasis is required, now the platelets are incapable of contributing their granules to make the platelet plug. As a result, what happens? The increase in postoperative bleeding. And these granules and this agonist binds to alpha adrenergic receptor of platelets. Now we all know CPB causes increased amount of stress to our body, and increased amount of stress causes increased catecholamine levels in our body. Now this increased catecholamine level, catecholamine includes adrenaline and noradrenaline. Though they are very weak, they bind to the alpha adrenergic receptor of platelet very weakly, but still the increased amount of adrenaline and noradrenaline and other catecholamines binds to the alpha adrenergic receptor during CPB, and as a result, what happens now? Post CPB, this platelet lacks the alpha adrenergic receptor, and their alpha adrenergic responsiveness, that is, when these agonists bind to alpha adrenergic receptor and they are recruited to form the platelet plug. The response of platelet, this response of platelet is decreased because they are already have lost their alpha adrenergic receptors during the period of cardiopulmonary bypass. So overall platelet dysfunction is seen post-operatively. All these three factors contribute to increased post-operative bleeding. তো কি হলো না, নরমালি আমাদের বডিতে কি হয়, যদি কোনো ভেসেল ইনজিওর্ড হয় আর সাব এন্ডোথেলিয়াল সেলস এক্সপোজড হয়, তো সেই সাব এন্ডোথেলিয়াল সেলস এর কন্টাক্টে যখন প্লেটলেট আসে তখন কি হয় না, প্লেটলেট অ্যাক্টিভেটেড হয়ে সেখানে অ্যাডহিয়ার করে, মানে প্লেটলেট অ্যাডহিয়ারেন্স হয়। আর তার সাথে সেই অ্যাক্টিভেটেড প্লেটলেট তার যে গ্র্যানিউলস গুলোকে ডিপ্লেট করে, সেখান থেকে কিছু অ্যাগনিস্ট, কিছু কেমিক্যাল সাবস্টেন্সেস তৈরি হয়, সেগুলো হচ্ছে সেরোটোনিন, এডিপি, থ্রম্বোক্সিন 2। Their function is to recruit more platelet at that position of injury to make a platelet plug to stop the bleeding. Now in CPB what happens, platelet senses the artificial surface and they sense that কি এটা নরমাল এন্ডোথেলিয়াম নয় ব্লাডে, তো সাথে সাথে কি হবে না, প্লেটলেট অ্যাক্টিভেট হবে, সাথে সাথেই তাদের সেই যে কেমিক্যালস গুলো, যে অ্যাগনিস্ট গুলো, সেগুলো রিলিজ হবে প্লেটলেট থেকে। তো সেই কেমিক্যালস গুলো, সেই অ্যাগনিস্ট গুলো কি করবে না, মোর এন্ড মোর প্লেটলেট কে মেসেজ সেন্ড করবে যে they have come to some artificial some surface other than endothelium, তার জন্য কন্টিনিউয়াসলি মোর এন্ড মোর প্লেটলেট কে তারা অ্যাক্টিভেট করতে চাইবে, ব্লাড সেই জায়গায় ক্লট ফর্মেশন করতে চাইবে। কিন্তু যেহেতু সিপিপি টাইমে আমরা হেপারিন দিয়ে রেখেছি অ্যান্টিকোয়াগুলেশন হিসাবে, তো তার জন্য ক্লট ফর্মেশন হতে পারবে না, কিন্তু কন্টিনিউয়াসলি স্টিমুলেশন যাবে, প্লেটলেট স্টিমুলেটেড হবে ক্লট ফর্মেশনের জন্য। আর একটা টাইম পরে কি হবে না, সেম অ্যাগনিস্টেড কন্টিনিউয়াস রিপিটেড স্টিমুলেশনের জন্য প্লেটলেট উইল বিকাম রিফ্র্যাক্টরি টু দ্য স্টিমুলেন্ট, মানে সেই স্টিমুলেন্টের এগেইনস্টে প্লেটলেটের আর কোনো রেসপন্স থাকবে না। তো তার ফলে কি হবে না, পোস্ট সিপিপি যখন পোস্ট সিপিপি যখন ক্লট ফর্মেশন দরকার, যখন হিমোস্ট্যাসিস দরকার, তখন এই সেম অ্যাগনিস্টের স্টিমুলেশনের জন্য প্লেটলেট আর সেন্স করবে না, প্লেটলেট আর রেসপন্স করবে না। তার ফলে কি হবে না, ব্লিডিং এর চান্স বেড়ে যাবে। আর তার সাথে যেহেতু প্লেটলেট অ্যাক্টিভেটেড হয়েছিল, তারা তাদের মধ্যে গ্র্যানিউলস গুলোকে ডিপ্লেট করে দিয়েছে সেই অ্যাগনিস্ট গুলো ফর্ম করার জন্য। তো পোস্ট মানে সিপিপি পিরিয়ডে এটা হয়ে গেছে। তো পোস্ট সিপিপি পিরিয়ডে সেই প্লেটলেট গুলোর মধ্যে আর গ্র্যানিউল কন্টেন্ট নেই, যাতে তারা কন্ট্রিবিউট করবে কি প্লেটলেট প্লাগ ফর্মেশন হয় যাতে। আর এগেন এই যে অ্যাগনিস্ট গুলো, এগুলো বাইন্ড করে প্লেটলেটের আলফা অ্যাড্রিনার্জিক রিসেপ্টরের সাথে। তো CPP টাইমে as well as the amount of agonist is high, as well as the amount of catecholamine level, that is amount of adrenaline, noradrenaline, they are also high. So what happens, the catecholamines also binds to this alpha adrenergic receptor. Though this bond is very weak, still যেহেতু সিপিপি টাইমে আলফা অ্যাড্রিনার্জিক সমস্ত রিসেপ্টর প্লেটলেটের কোনো না কোনো ভাবে বাইন্ড করে গেছে, হয় ক্যাটেকোলামাইন বা সেরোটোনিন বা এডিপির সাথে। তো পোস্ট সিপিপি প্লেটলেট ডিসফাংশন দেখা যাবে, কারণ সেই আলফা অ্যাড্রিনার্জিক রিসেপ্টর দে ল্যাক দ্য আলফা অ্যাড্রিনার্জিক রিসেপ্টর। তো তাদের আলফা অ্যাড্রিনার্জিক যে রেসপন্সিভনেস, তাদের আলফা অ্যাড্রিনার্জিক রেসপন্সিভনেস কমে যাবে। তার ফলে তাদের টেন্ডেন্সি to stop bleeding, tendency to form platelet plug, that will decrease. এই সমস্ত তিনটে কারণে কি হবে না, পোস্ট অপারেটিভ ব্লিডিং এর চান্স হাই হয়ে যাবে, আরো বেড়ে যাবে। আর তাছাড়াও প্লেটলেট অ্যাক্টিভেশনের জন্য যে থ্রম্বোক্সিন A2, সেরোটোনিন যে প্রোডাক্ট গুলো রিলিজ হচ্ছিল, তারা কি করে, their function is they induce systemic inflammation. So this is all about the hematological adverse event, especially on the cellular components of blood In the next part of video, we will see the effect on the non-cellular component of blood. So that is all about the session. Thank you, goodbye and take care.